Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I just want to give you some information really quickly. Let me share this to the group. When it comes down to dealing with items on your credit, and it's a real important step that you need to take. I don't know why this is not posting. Okay. When you're dealing with items on your credit, I'm posting, as you can see, we have started this real credit kickoff maybe back in January. And so now the ball is beginning to roll for a lot of people. So if you're not aware, we offer free inquiry deletion letters. Also, we have a place for you to start if you're going to work on your credit. We tell you to send out a number of free inquiry deletion letters. We have them at my website. Also, you should send out at least one debt validation letter for a collection, and also work on bringing down your utilization. Then we tell you, if you don't have any collections and you have charge-offs, begin to work towards getting negative items off of your credit report at that point. So if you're not aware, I always tell you, when it comes down to inquiries, when it comes down to collections, you go directly to the source. Because if you did not know, the credit bureaus have what's in place called the e-Oscar system. And this system is designed for you not to be in contact with the person. It just reads your information and turn it to a 3-digit code, ship it overseas, and if it comes back, they verify it through Nexus Lexus verified. They just say it's verified. So some of the steps that I tell you in my package, if you have to go through the bureaus, what we're trying to do is get it into human hands. And the reason why e-Oscar is set up, because under the law, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the credit repair companies do not have a right to try to remove negative items for you in your stead. Only you have that right. So they set up this system in order to block out letters that's on a template standard. So, but before you begin to work on your credit, like I said, we offer free inquiry deletion letters. Feel free to send that out. And you're going to send that directly to the company that accessed your credit file. And the reason why inquiries is on a lower realm. Now, this is only if you don't have an active or a past trade line connected to it. So you don't want to dispute things that there's an open credit card account, for instance, car account, because then that make you look a little shady grady there. Everybody know you open that account. So then if you do deny that account, they might shut the whole account down. So you only do these for accounts you haven't had an active account for, or currently don't have an active account for. So you would send it directly to them, because under the law it's something called permissible purpose. Any company that access your credit file has to have your permission, and you can demand in writing, you want to see where you gave your signature to agree for them to access your credit file. So even with your job, okay? So just, this is why you're going to contact them directly. Charnay just had an inquiry drop off just by sending a letter directly to the company that accessed her credit file. Okay? So what you'll see, and I already posted, they'll say, okay, because it was fraudulent, they removed it. Okay? Because if you're denying it, they're saying, if it's done online, anybody could have did that online with your information. There's a lot of identity theft going around. So it's not unusual. They removed it. So just by a simple letter. We had Christina. She just sent out a debt validation letter to a collection company. So demanding. That's under the Fair Debt Collection Practices. You have a right to verify this debt, that they owe the debt. Totally different standing, but that's what you do. She sent that out, and they removed it. So this is why I tell you, instead of paying people, paying for deletion, simply send out a debt validation letter. They might just remove it. So does that happen with each and every one? Maybe not. Might happen to 2, might happen to 3, and the other one, you just have to follow the other steps. But when it comes down to dealing with the bureaus, always make sure you have to access and see what's on your credit report. So you should, number one, if you're working on your credit, have a credit monitoring system of some kind. So even if you have to go through Credit Karma to see Equifax and TransUnion, usually the information they're reporting is accurate, but the credit score can be off. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Your credit score may be higher or lower than what it really is. Okay, because they go off the Vantage, and most lenders look at your FICO score. Experian, on the other hand, is using your real FICO score. So if you have Experian, but if you use all 3 credit, now you might have to pull, like they charge you $39. If you pull all 3, those are going to be your real FICO scores. So the agenda is what you want to see is what's reporting on your credit report. Okay, before you go to the bureaus, before you start disputing items, it is key. Any old addresses, you need to dispute that off before you try to attack anything. Any names or aliases, you need to dispute that off. That is not yours. And here's why. There are certain indicators that the credit bureaus, when a dispute come in, they look for to connect to you. For instance, address, name, social security number, and birth date, and a few other items are indicators that this is you. Because my name is Sherry Beckley. There could be a number of people that's in towns around me or in my own town with that same exact name. Especially if you have a common name like Michael Jackson, Michael Jones. The thing is, it's real easy for them to merge your file. So we have a gentleman that was saying his file was getting mixed up with his son's file. And the reason why, if you got a junior and you are a junior, or you have you're a senior, that person or your child or your father file can merge with yours very easily. And it happened to my father often because my brother is a junior. And so when you're living, since that's your child, with that person is in your household, those identifiers match up to you. So negative stuff can come on your credit report because of your child or because of your parent. So you want to make sure, even because of a neighbor or somebody in your neighborhood that actually have that same name as you. So you want to make sure before you begin to attack anything when it pertains to the credit bureaus that all of that old information is off of you. Because let's say you have an old collection and you moved, right? You live in a totally new town, new address. You want to get that old address off because the way they might identify that being you is because that old address is reporting to your credit report, and then that old collection or whatever it may be, old account that's charged off, is reporting at that same address connected to you. So you want to get all of that stuff off. All you simply do, you could send a notarized letter. By doing that, notary is always good. Or you could simply just take your current address, which would be, take your driver's license. I say a copy of your social security number or social security card, and a current bill, like let's say your utility bill, bank statement, Your car registration is a good one, and send a copy to them to get that off. Because like I said, you can be defeated. You could be defeated if you don't get that information off. They could just say it's yours because that old address is lining up. So especially when it comes to charge-offs, you guys, don't start attacking that until you remove that information off. Okay? So when it comes down to collections, I always tell you, you go directly to the source. Don't go to the person that heard the rumor. Go to the source that started the rumor. So with inquiries, collections, go directly to that company. So you don't have to play Jedi mind tricks to get it into somebody's hands. It's always good to go to them at first. Then if they send you back a letter, and I'm talking about only inquiries, then you dispute through the bureaus and send that second letter back to them. Okay? So I hope this is informational. I'm not going to make this video very long. I just want to give y'all that tip. Well, it's really not a tip. It's actually a requirement. Make sure you get that off first. So like I tell you guys, working on your credit, it does take an amount of patience. Like, everything is not going to happen overnight. After all, you didn't tear down your credit overnight. These things begin to happen. Another thing, segueing to the coronavirus. I'm about to go out to do some work. I work for myself in whatever I do. I don't do a lot of interaction with people. I kind of stay in my vehicle. So majority of the time is very little interaction. But the problem a lot of times is situations like this. People might have had good credit history, but a downturn. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to see some effects from what's going on. A lot of people in America are living paycheck to paycheck. I always preach this. We have a group for this. It's Millennial Money Making. You must get another means of cash flow, you guys. This is why you cannot depend on a job. You should have another means of cash flow. Try to get financially responsible by not having all these car payments, not having all this debt, y'all. You should be, at this time, with the Fed dropping the interest rate, leveraging your credit to get assets, not more liabilities. I mean, I preach this constantly, but here it is. I always tell you, silver, gold, land. Get on the God system. And actually, these silver people done shut us down, these stackers. They like, whoop, no, we out. They not trying to even let us buy the silver and the gold. Now the price dropped. Because you know what they doing? They playing games. They don't want that money right now. They not playing with us. I'm waiting for mine to deliver. I place my order soon as the price drop. Understand, when it come down to silver and gold, it's only a certain number of that. When it's coming down to the Fed dropping that interest rate to zero, they're going to do quantitative easing. They're going to put more money into the system. So losers are savers. So savers are losers. If you're saving money and they're adding more money to the system, what it's going to do is diminish your purchasing power of your dollar. So you're going to see prices start to go up. That's called inflation. Or you'll see items shrinking, but you're paying the same amount of money. For example, your tie. Oh, now it's concentrated. No, it ain't. You're just paying the same price for less. So this is what the Romans did back in the day with the denali. They start diminishing their money, taking out the silver and the gold. They start taking it out. And what that is to pay for their wars. What it is, this is a fiat money system. So it's very dangerous right now because your money, your dollar, is currency. It's really not actually money. Money holds its value. I can go anywhere in the world And silver is silver. Same price. Doesn't matter. All the rest of that stuff, gold is gold. It don't matter. Whatever country you visit. But when you come down to fiat money, it is nothing but debt. It's an IOU backed by the good reputation of that company. So when you see places like Zimbabwe, Venezuela start to get that hyperinflation, it's because people lost trust in that government. So if you guys don't start getting aware to control assets, you got to start controlling things. This is why the rich, they're not saving all this money. They leverage and get farms, get factories, get products. They're leveraging their money for real assets, not liabilities, not cars. So if you don't have enough cash flow, and unfortunately, I saw a young lady that said she just lost her job behind the situation that's going, that just happened. If you're working in a place like Madison Square Garden, or where it was heavily Disney World tied to entertainment, some of these airlines talking about they might have to lay off. How are you going to pay your bills? And that's the problem. The problem is people don't have other means of cash flow. So with me, for instance, I usually do inspections dealing with businesses. That slowed down. Well, it's not a lot of that because I got another realm of work. So that's cool. I'm good because I work for myself. I'm a landlord. I get some assistance from the state, some of my tenants. My money is good. I'm not working for that. So what I'm just telling y'all have to figure out another means of leveraging your natural talent and developing that, and find another means of income. As Gary Vee said, you work your 9 to 5 in the day, you got to work your business at night, or vice versa, however your job is. Don't let somebody say to you, like that man said to me that I work for at an agency, you're fired. And I said, I would never have nobody be able to tell me that again. And from that day to this day, I ain't never had that. You're not going to tell me I'm fired, because you can do something. You're creative. God made you a creative being in his image. There's some talent he gave you that you can do. You got to get the cash flow. So I don't know how they're going to handle this. Yeah, they're telling you you don't have to pay your bills for now, but is that going to affect your credit score? Are they going to let you glide with that? So when the market went down and people had to refinance with the whole mortgage mess, they still knocked their credit score on that for even taking that. They had to have 3 months where it negatively impacted their credit score. So a lot of times there's no free lunches, as people say. Okay? So let's say, okay, well, you don't have to pay us this month. You ain't going to have to catch up with that eventually. They're going to get their payment. I don't care if you don't have to pay your rent this month or your car note this month, but come next month, if it ease up, you got to pay that back money. And if you're currently exchanging time, your time for money, and you can't go in that place to work, what do you have? How are you going to get that money back up? If you don't have it saved, and now all your money is allocated to car notes, car insurance, rent, what you going to do? You got to find another way of making cash flow. And you have to be able to save money at times like this to keep yourself afloat so you're good. But a lot of people don't think about the future. They don't plan for the future. And it's like they let a temporary decision become a permanent problem. I don't have $1,000 to fix my car, so I get a car note. You didn't have the $1,000, so now you got a $500 car payment. and insurance. So now you almost paying $1,000 for transportation. So I'm just saying, y'all, keep that in mind. It ain't no free lunches out here. It really ain't. I don't care if they waive that. And like Tracy said, with additional fees. You know, you got people out here that contact me. They paying a lot of money, student loan debt, you know, a lot of this debt. And it's very sad because unless you get some ingenuity for yourself, it's hard to get from up out of this. And I'll leave on this note. Me and my daughters, I made my daughter, I went to Walmart. I said, she's not going to school, but she's going to get some financial education. So I told her, she wasn't very willing at first, but we all got together to play Monopoly. And so they were sitting there. They had, I think Atlantic and Marion and Baltic, which is, we would call that the hood. So they had got it a piece. They ain't want it. And they might pay $60 for it. I said, I'll pay you $100 each for that land. So as soon as I bought it, I built all these hotels because it's cheap. I said, see, I'm gentrifying the area. And set up my hotels. It was bargain basement. And my oldest daughter falling on it, I'm like, look, run me my $450, you know. But my youngest daughter ended up with, looked like she was losing. She got enough land, developed it, and boy, did she crack us. She cracked us. And the only thing kept me in it was owning the light company, water company, the railroads. Those kind of things kept me in the game. But eventually, Diamond got to a part that she had to mortgage off her land, her houses, sell her houses, and I was able to purchase that land. I'm trying to just keep her in the game because my daughter Faith was controlling the block. Yo, she was cracking us. Then finally she got I think it was Marvin, the yellow joint. She got a hotel on that. I landed on it. It was like $11.50. I was like done. I'm like, I'm done. I'm almost done. But the point was, I think Diamond had she went bankrupt. Because the point is this, and we just told her she won. We couldn't even catch up with her. Once she got it and started developing stuff, we got so far behind, we couldn't catch up with her. It was just, but the crazy part, the reason why I bought the game, and I'm going to make her play that game, that is life. This is why these games, that back in the 80s, they were speaking to you, the rich. They do monopolize. This is how they buy assets and they gain wealth. And they cracking you. And people want to buy cars. They want to buy nonsense. They monopolizing. They own the light company. They own the train company. You are dying while they are getting wealthier by the day by doing nothing once they lock down the board. But people don't never see this. So that's why I was trying to get my daughter to see this is how you going to live your life. You buy land. You develop it. Now, I don't know if I can get this flight, but this is what I told y'all from the beginning. I got to go and get some land. I'm going to develop it. I'm trying to play Monopoly. I suggest you do too, because this is what's going to happen. That's how you go bankrupt. Because right now, the banks, you owe that car note to. The insurance companies, which is banks, you got to pay to insure that. They're not doing nothing. You owe your landlord. You got to live somewhere. You're going to have to pay pretty soon. They ain't doing nothing. They monopolizing off of you. I don't care if you got a mortgage and you live in that house. The bank again, monopolizing off of you. So what activities are you going to pay them while they just sitting there waiting for a check? You can't outwork that, because the difference is they don't work for their money. You do. Stop exchanging time for money. You got to get out of that, because you ain't going to never win the game. You're going to go bankrupt eventually. There's going to be a windfall. And this could be that windfall for a lot of people. So even though it's bad, it could be the best thing that happened to you. Martha Stewart had to go bankrupt. Her husband left her in order for her to develop an empire. Paula Deen, people might not like her, but it's the same thing for her to cook and make those sandwiches. You know, Sarah Lee, another working, I believe she was working in a cafe, making a dessert. And the dessert took off. People start coming in for the dessert. So she developed that. You better find something that you can do, and you do it well. And it's usually something you neglect, that people call it your talent, but you neglect it. You better work that now. You better start getting extra income now. Stop getting that now. FICA 10T is coming in June. And all I got to say, that debt, they're going to look at it much differently. And they're going to be trending, looking at the past of your debt, including in your score at a different effect, a different rate than it was prior years. So start positioning yourself to get to a better position. Start making better financial moves. Play Monopoly. Don't buy liabilities. Start buying assets. I tell y'all always you should be looking even for raw land to develop. Wherever you got raw land, you can have food, you can have cattle, you can have water. If you dig deep enough into the land, the water table is there. You have what you need. So start playing Monopoly. Stop working. Stop trying to shine for folk. Like, let's just cut that out. Stop trying to ball. Stop trying to, ball out. I'm going to show them this hot girl summer. All of that. You just need to chill on that. Why don't you make it financial summer? I call it get low summer. I'm getting my debts low summer. Stacking what I need to do in order to invest. So you leverage your credit, get it to 680, and stop playing all these silly games. Oh, I'm getting it high. I'm going to the 850. What you doing with it? So you gonna die broke with an 850 credit score? Or you call having a couple of cars that I'm doing it? That ain't doing it. Having a bunch of that ain't doing it. Like, come on, I want to break that too. No, you at 650, start working on your credit profile. That's a whole nother level. So all that scale, that's just like with weight. Oh, look at the scale dropping. But you got higher fat than muscle on your body. The profile is your composition. What you look like on paper. So it does matter. Don't get it twisted. Because if you got a lot of silly, willy, chilly, penguin stuff on your credit score and you trying to go for real money, they not going to rock with you like that. I'm sorry. You got a bunch of credit cards and car notes. That's your history. Based on this 745 credit score, come on. There ain't nobody rocking with that. You ain't got enough income. Ain't nobody rocking with that. I'm just telling you, the banks ain't rocking with you. So you got to start getting assets. Then you get the assets. I'm telling you, you got to switch over. Switch your mindset. Then people play that, my credit score this high game. What you got, though? It don't matter. If you ain't got no assets, well, what you doing then? Eventually, the monopoly game going to crack you. Because the rich is getting the water company and the light company buying up land, buying up your hood, gentrifying it. You can't afford to stay there no more. Now the rent went from $12, slap that hotel $4.50, and they doing it every day. But you not catching it. People want to get more cars, but I'll get off of that. I can't beat a dead horse, but hey, that's what it is. A lot of people ain't gonna get it until they sitting there and they living it. So don't get it twisted. This might happen now, but soon as the government let the wolves go, if you got them car notes and they behind, they riding around in your hood looking for it. They riding around in your community, seeing where it is. Gonna come get it. And then boom, you back. Oh, I got 2 repos. this happened, a windfall happened, da 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 da. That's what it is. So you just got to change your spending habits. You got to change and educate yourself. You got to educate yourself about what it is. If anybody is interested, we have a credit group. Feel free to join. A quick guide on how to boost your credit. And we have some good people in the group who's giving good information, and they encourage you. And they're showing you their results. Point blank, period. They're putting in the work. And don't think now one of these people that's getting these results, Jamila, she's another one. She showed, all of this came off. My credit score, and I believe there were inquiries, went up 15 points. She's putting in the work. All she simply did, looked at her credit. I got inquiries, went to the website, printed out those letters. She might have had to put her information in the letters. That's what she had to probably do. And then send them out, certified in the mail. That's it. Point blank. We have a place for you to start. So if you like, go to the group. If you're in the group, hey everybody, I hope y'all doing well. And anybody else that want to join, feel free. They're going to help to get you where you are. They're going to keep you motivated. And this is a community. So be blessed. I won't tie y'all up. Be blessed and enjoy your day. Be safe also. God bless.